Okay, the fundamental principle accounting is the next thing that we need to take a look at. The purpose of this is so that if there are multiple events, so if there are multiple dice or die thrown, if there are multiple spinners thrown, if 2 coins are flipped, 3 coins are flipped, or if you're doing a couple of events that are separate to one another, you can easily calculate how many total outcomes you have of that event. Now you might have to watch this video twice because I need to start with what an event and an outcome and a trial is. So first off, a trial is when we perform a probability task. So a trial would be when you flip a coin, when you throw a die, when you spin a spinner, something like that. And then the outcomes are what happens as a result of that. So you flip your coin, your outcome would be a head or a tail. You throw your die, the outcome would be you get a 2 on the die facing up, or you might get a 5 on the die facing up. Or you're taking a card at random from a deck even, and the outcome of the trial might be you pick out the ace of spades, something like that. Okay, so the fundamental principle accounting says, and this is a bit of a mouthful, but you'll see it's very easy when you apply it. If there are 2 trials, then the number of outcomes for the first trial and the second trial, you just multiply them together to get the total number of trials for the total number of outcomes for the 2 trials. So what that would mean is, if I flipped 2 coins, well, when I flip the first coin, there are 2 possible outcomes. When I flip the second coin, there are also 2 possible outcomes. But if I flip 2 coins together, and I need to look at what are the outcomes from the 2 of those, like a head and a head or a head and a tail, then I just multiply the 2 outcomes for the first one and the 2 outcomes in the second one together, and I get 4 possible outcomes in that case. Or if I had 2 die and I threw the 2 die, how many outcomes could I get from throwing the 2 die? Well, I could get a 1 and a 1, I could get a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 3, a 1 and a 4, a 1 and a 5, a 1 and a 6. I could get a 2 and a 1, a 2 and a 2, 2 and a 3, 2 and a 4, 2 and a 5, 2 and a 6. And you see it goes on, right? So there are lots of outcomes there. Rather than you having to list those off, you can easily calculate the total number of outcomes by looking at how many outcomes do we have for the first die? 6. How many outcomes do we have for the second die? 6 as well. And multiply the 6 by the 6. And that will give me a total of 36 possible outcomes. So, back to this thing on the screen. If we perform 2 trials, if the first one has m possible outcomes, and the second trial has n possible outcomes, the total number of outcomes for the combined 2 trials is gotten by multiplying the 2 together. Let's put it into action. So 2 coins are tossed. How many possible outcomes are there? I'm going to list them in what's called a 2-way table. So if I flip the coins, I could get, top left, a head and a head. Top right, I could get a head in the first and a tails in the second. Look at the bottom left. I could get a tail on the first and a head on the second. Or look at the bottom right, I could get a tail on both of those. So there are 4 possible outcomes. And that would be the answer. How many possible outcomes are there? There are 4. But using the fundamental principle accounting, we could see that when I toss the first coin, there's 2 possible outcomes. When I toss the second coin, there are 2 possible outcomes. And if I multiply the 2 by the 2, I get 4 there. One more example. So, Anna's going on holidays. She'll wear a jeans and a top. She's packed 3 jeans and 4 tops. How many different outfits can she wear? So for the first trial, she has a possibility of 3 outcomes. For the second one, she has a possibility of 4 outcomes. And if we multiply 3 by 4, that will tell us she could wear 12 different outfits. Okay, if you were to list them, they would be black jeans, white top, black jeans, green top, black jeans, yellow top, black jeans, red top. Or navy jeans, white top, navy jeans, green top, navy jeans, yellow top, navy jeans, red top. Or blue jeans, white top, blue jeans, green top, blue jeans, yellow top, and blue jeans, red top. And if you did it that way, you'd find out that there are indeed 12. But the fundamental principle accounting is a quicker way of getting the number of outcomes. Right. If there are 3 events, or 4 events, or 5 events, you basically take the number of outcomes for each event and you just multiply them all together. So if there are 3 events and you had 2 outcomes possible for the first, 2 outcomes possible for the second, and 3 outcomes possible for the third, the total number of outcomes will be 2 by 2 by 3, which will be 12. Okay. Now I'm going to leave that with you. Your homework will be 1 to 12 on page 96 and 97, and you can start it now.